All right. So, you guys, we typically, like most people or most fans of clubs, they'll do like their best starting 11 for their favorite club. I asked Sharma that if we could come get together and do a combined worst starting 11 for Inter. Thought about doing it as like a 4-3-3. Oh yeah, for me, the worst goalkeeper I've seen at Inter in my lifetime is actually going to be. And listen, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he was horrendous when Handanovic went down. And for me, it's Padelli. I could not take it. I think it was the game against Milan where he misplayed like 2 crosses that ended up in the back of the net. I know he dropped one on the foot of a player. And Daniele Padelli, no offense, man, but you're in my worst starting 11.
So I've gone for Carrizo.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was my next. That was actually my next choice. So
yeah,
okay.
He was just like I think did we sign him from Lazio? I think he was.
Yeah, from Lazio.
Yeah, and I think he was actually pretty good when he was at Lazio. So when we signed him, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a pretty good backup. But yeah, every time he stepped in, he was just so shaky. Like he would just palm. Like when he comes out to claim cross, he would just like palm it out. It was just really really bad. He was just there to get his bag and just earn his money and leave. It was awful.
My right back does, which I was surprised he actually played them. But I put Gresco in. Radislav Gresco. Obviously, remembered for the game against Lazio. That's like his most memorable appearance. He did play 41 games for Inter. Wow. Which, I did not think it was that much. I really did not. But my goodness, like, I remember my dad. I didn't watch the whole game with him. I was maybe 12 or 13 years old when that game was taking place. But I do remember him on the couch, and he took the remote control and just bent it in half when Gresco made the error. He was so upset with him, and I didn't watch a lot of him, or really any of him, to be quite honest. But having seen the write-ups and seen how people view him and his legacy at Inter, he has to make my starting 11 as the right back there.
I've gone for, I wasn't sure where to put him there, but I guess he was kind of like a wing back as well, which was Ezequiel Schelotto. Of course, he had the amazing goal in the Milan derby, which was his like highlight moment, and he cried.
His only moment.
Yeah, nice to see that it meant so much to him, but he was just not good enough. I never got it. Like this guy was getting so much hype in like the early 2010s. Like he was getting called up to Italy, even though he was like naturalized from Argentina. I was like, bro, this guy is not good enough that you need to naturalize this guy to play for Italy. It was not good enough for like even Serie A level. Like I don't think he was even good enough for Serie A level, which he showed, I think, afterwards.
Ugh. And I think, didn't he come in the same window with Kuzmanovic and?
Yeah, I mean, they all blends together that season. But it was that the thicker stripe Banter era shirt.
Oof, my goodness, what a terrible signing. Yeah, that one pains me for sure as well. All right, center back. One of the center backs for me, it's gotta be Juan Jesus. The man was just useless, absolutely useless. The errors that he would have, his decisions. I remember a game, and I believe it was against Novara, where he went up for a header, completely whiffed, came down, and the player, I don't remember who it was that came, but he was able to trap the ball, had time to like set himself, shoot, and score. But like the whole time, instead of turning around, he was just like looking like this, like where the ball, buddy? How'd you not know you didn't touch it? Like he was just one of my all-time least favorite players in Inter colors, and he's I'm putting him in my 11.
And he wasn't he like one of the Banter era derbies? He was captain. I think it was like Montolivo and Ron Jesus were the captain. Oh,
yes.
God. I picked Mattias Silvestre. Or Sylvester.
I was gonna say he was my other one, but he was there for a season, and then we loaned him out somewhere after. I think.
But I think we paid quite a bit for him. Like I think it was like 7-8 million or something, which was pretty.
It was criminal.
He was just didn't look like he was up to not even like Inter level, just Serie A level. Because even afterwards, yeah, it's like all these careers. We were like the Man United of that time. We were just like, as soon as a player comes to us, your career just like dies.
Next one, I think it's more so because of the hype, or me. I mean, maybe I'm sure other people did, but I know I hyped it up and thought it was a great signing. But Nemanja Vidic, I
Yeah,
thought that was, I thought, oh, cool, we're getting a solid, sentinel in the back line. He's going to be a leader from back there. Was a massive flop for us. I don't remember any like major mistakes, but I definitely don't recall anything good that he did. He was hurt some of the time too there, so it's not like he played a full season. But I thought like, oh, cool, this is the guy that we need to jumpstart getting back into Champions League football, and that was not the case, unfortunately.
and it's funny. Yeah, he's like an all-time. A lot of Premier League fans will put him in like in their all-time list. And for us, it's a complete disgrace. I went for Nelson Rivas.
Ooh, wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, because do you know what it is with Nelson Rivas? I just remember when Inter were good. So this is coming, this is before the Banta era when Inter were actually good with Mancini. So in a good Inter team, this guy would come in as like the backup, and he would just like stink it out. Like I just remember, I think it was like a Man United. I think it was in the Champions League, or Liverpool. Like these like Champions League nights, for some reason he had to like step in for an injury to like I think Samuel was out with his ACL or something. And yeah, this guy he was quick. He was supposed to be like the new Cordoba, like that type of South American, no nonsense centre back with pace, but he was just a calamity.
For left back, I was torn between two players, and I hope I don't pick the one that you're thinking, but I'm going with Alvaro Pereira. Probably the worst signing of that banter era, up there with probably the guy that we'll agree on for the midfield too, or a guy that we will agree on for the midfield. I didn't like Dalbert, so I thought about Dalbert, but then I was like, at least Dalbert had some moments, right? Pereira was just absolutely horrendous. No brain defensively, could not cross a ball into the box to save his life. Like, for the things I didn't like about Dumfries, where he would hit his first man sometimes, Pereira hit the first man it's almost like he was doing target practice, trying to just, I have to hit the defender, and then, we can get a throw in, and it'll work out better for me somehow. I don't know what Branca was thinking when he brought him in. I don't know if he lost a bet with someone from Porto and had to make up for it. But yeah, Pereira was the worst. And I don't even know how he was in the Uruguayan national team, to be honest. Like, that guy is just, yeah.
No, I've gone for Dalbert just for personal bias because I have PTSD of that Empoli game, the final game of the season where we qualified for the Champions League at the last moment. Like, he still gives me nightmares, that 20-minute cameo that he had, giving the ball away like 3 times and just having zero footballing IQ. Oh, I still have nightmares of that little cameo that he had against Empoli. So just for that, he remains my worst ever left back.
All right, now the midfield.
I know we've got the same guy here, so we can go Kuzmanovic.
Yep, we both have him. He's there, so we'll assign him to this specific spot.
Yeah. That's the Makelele role. We're renaming it the Kuzmanovic role in this team.
Like, what? We signed him from Stuttgart. I don't understand either. Like, who was on that scouting trip? What did someone? This is the guy we need right now. People it's funny. People hate Gagliardini. Then they weren't there in the times when Kuzmanovic was at Inter. If that's your least favorite midfielder, you did not watch watching Inter during the Banter era, because this might go. The fact that he even has one goal for Inter, I might have to look it up because I don't know if it's a real goal. He has to be in the worst 11.
Yeah, he was proper meme character as well. Like
when someone asks me like, oh, who's the one player you think of from the Banter era, it's always Kuzmanovic.
Yeah.
For me, the other midfielder that still to this day I had high hopes, I think, when we signed him. Gotta be Gabi Budingai. I thought that he would be like another solid midfielder who would be able to control and progress for us. And my dad at that time had probably watched more Serie A than I had, because he was so hyped about Budingai that I got hyped about Budingai, and the guy was a massive flop. Like, even my father couldn't defend him anymore. Like,
I have the same. My midfielder is like no technique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same. Like, yeah, because I used to, when you were Serie A, I think it was Bologna, he was pretty good for.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, Inter signed him just as he, like, I think already turned 30. It was like 31, 32. So he was a physical midfielder. He's already declining. So the actual things he's good at, he's not good at anymore, like running around, winning the ball back. And yeah, so he was just completely a fish out of water at Inter. And then the guy next to him, I'm putting Gianni. So it's a midfielder, Kuzmanovic, Mudingai, and Walter Gargano.
That's who I had too. Yep.
Wow, we've got the same trio.
Same trio. Gargano is, oh my gosh. And like and again, him at Napoli, he was pretty decent. I wouldn't say he was like anything, earth beating. I thought like, okay, here's another good signing here. The left wing, it's got to be the player that I thought would be the greatest Inter player of all time, Ricardo Quaresma.
Oh yeah.
I hate to put him here because he is such a baller and he balled out everywhere else he was. But for Inter, it's like he was a fish out of water. Like he just did not fit in at all. It was unfortunate. Like all the things that he did well, the dribbling, the first touching, the crossing and everything, and being able to create space for himself and score on that left side and be able to curl balls in far post. You saw none of that in Inter. It was just I don't know why he flopped. I really don't. Like,
yeah, I was so hyped when we signed Quaresma, man.
Same.
But actually, I've gone for Correa.
See, I was gonna put him on my right side, but okay.
I just like 4 years, absolutely nothing. Even when we loaned him out, how do you end up doing 0 goals, 0 assists in Ligue 1? Like I had some, at least I had some expectations from him. Like I did like him at Lazio. The thing with Correa is like he had everything like in his favor. He had a coach that loved him and kept giving him chances. He came at the right time. Like Inter were on the up. He was 27, so like peak years for a footballer when you're supposed to take the next step. Like everything was there. Lautaro, the Argentinian connection, like everything that you need for a player to succeed was there. He wasn't. But the thing is, he could fit right into the Inter Banta era team. Like he would be, perfectly there, slot into this team.
Yeah, like he would do things that I do in my men's league where I just like stutter, but I don't actually do anything. But like I make it seem like I'm about to do something. But dude,
man, those backheel flicks.
Yeah, like
or when he like steps over the ball, he does like the little fake. He just like lets the ball run through, and it's like there's no one behind him.
All right, so do your right winger, since I basically just did mine.
I think I put Belfodil, if I remember correctly. I think it was Ishak Belfodil, because he came with the hype of like the new Benzema.
Yep.
And like this kind of technical tall striker. He actually ended up doing okay for his career, unlike most of the other players in this list.
Yeah.
But for Inter, it was just.
I remember he was at Hoffenheim. He had a pretty decent numbers there. So.
Yeah. But for Inter, it was just nothing. Just absolutely, did
he even last a year?
I think just 1 year.
Oof. Gosh. Yeah, that's that was one that I was hyped on too for the same reasons. Like, just because he looked like Benzema, though, I think people needed to realize he was not. But for striker, it's got to be Tommaso Rocchi.
Oh yeah,
like he just, I don't. What a panic! Like January typical signing where you just bring someone in that you think will be able to fit and be able to help, and the guy did nothing. Who's your striker?
Yeah, Rocchi. It's just. It's not even. I can't even blame him. Like it's like I feel harsh because he was literally. Like, I'm sure he was thinking about retirement and then Inter just like call him up. And I've never seen a footballer that looks like that old. Like footballers usually, because, they're athletes, they look, in good shape. They look younger than they are because of, the exercise they do. This guy, it literally looked like he'd been through 4 divorces, a war, and, 4 divorces. It was so bad. Great, awful teams, both there.
Both, 2 terrible teams that thank goodness we will never have to see wear our colors again.
Yeah. Oh, imagine a game between those 2 teams.
Just 0-0? Or would it be a high scoring game because of the keepers?
Yeah, high scoring, like 2 own goals each.
Yep.